Becoming the primary caregiver for a family member who is suffering with mental illness is not easy, and Kaye should know. Her son was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the age of 20. And Randye, I know this was something very difficult for you to deal with, and you've kind of taken on this cause, helping other families who are going through the very same thing, right? And we're so happy to have you on the show this morning. Say good morning, everybody, to Kaye. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good morning. It's good to be here.
Now, your son was diagnosed at the age of 20, and as a parent, I have 3 children myself, all under the age of 10. Talk to me about what that diagnosis was like and what the next few minutes, hours, days, years were like for you as you started to go through this with your son.
Well, that's a long story, so I'll try to shorten it, but you know, the diagnosis doesn't come suddenly. It comes usually after years of what is going on. So when I finally did get the diagnosis, I had suspected it up to that point because I'd made it a point to educate myself. But that moment of knowing that your child truly does have an illness for which at this point there is no cure, although there is treatment, is both devastating because nobody wants anybody they love to get a diagnosis like that. But it was also a relief because in hindsight, I could see what had been going on and that some of it was out of my control. Once we had the diagnosis, we could move forward to finding treatment options. And that was the hopeful part of it. So with the help of a therapeutic alliance between us, the family has a lot of the information because they live with the patient 7 days a week. So with the help of input from the family, talking to healthcare providers, and also including the patient, it was kind of a therapeutic alliance. And with this alliance, we were able to try a variety of treatment options and determine which one was working. And this alliance, it's a message that is so important. I'm proud to partner with Synovian Pharmaceuticals to bring that message of the importance of this alliance. So I'm happy to say that after 8 years of stabilization, my son is doing beautifully. He works, he goes to school, he's an important part of our family. And that's the face of schizophrenia that I wanted to show to everybody with my book.
You know, and I think that's such a wonderful thing you're doing because, you know, we talked about this a little bit in the intro in terms of you working with families. And there are so many millions of families, Randye, who are going through the very same thing you are. And sometimes I think they feel like they're alone, like there's nobody else who's going through this. What do you say to these families when you talk to them?
I say, you are not alone. You know, I think that was such a powerful message for me because, you know, when a spouse, a sibling, a parent, a child is diagnosed with any mental illness, in our case schizophrenia, there's such a stigma that a lot of families are afraid to talk about it and afraid to bring it out in the open. And I want this to be a no-shame thing. It's nobody's fault. It's simply an illness of the brain. My son deserves respect. He deserves treatment. He deserves to have a life and to be appreciated for who he is. So through the National Alliance on Mental Illness, that's one place you can go for education and to know that you're not alone.
You know, one of the other things you do is you spend a lot of time talking to legislators. I wanted to ask you, what can legislators do, in your opinion, to help in the fight against mental illness and also to help families be able to better cope, whether it's through programs or something else?
There's so many areas in this question. One thing is to be aware of the importance of early detection and therefore the importance of research. And also to think in terms of cost, that treatment up front is way less expensive than the cost of untreated schizophrenia. So putting your care into treatment, into early detection, into making sure that people with mental illness have the services they need ultimately helps everybody and also, by the way, saves money in the end.
You know, I wanted to ask you before we let you go, for families who do feel like they are alone in this struggle and the fact that you're speaking so vocally in terms of letting them know they are not. What is the takeaway? What would you like to leave our viewers with here on The Balancing Act this morning who may be going through this in their own families or may know of someone else who is? What would you like to say to them this morning?
I would say the more educated you are, the more you can understand, both for yourself or for other people. There's a lot of misinformation out there about schizophrenia, so get educated. If you're going through it in your family, get support if you can. Keep your sense of humor and continue to hope.
Very quickly, where can we go for more information, Kaye?
Okay, the book is available at your local booksellers and on Amazon. It's called Ben Behind His Voices, One Family's Journey from the Chaos of Schizophrenia to Hope.
Appreciate your time, and thank you so much for coming on and sharing this information with us. Hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Danielle.
Randye, take care. Bye-bye.